Well, hey, it's card number 134 from that set that came out in 1953. It's Johnny Pesky. Everybody knows him from the Boston Red Sox, but here he is with the Detroit Tigers getting ready to field a grounder. Check out those stirrups for Detroit standing there in Yankee Stadium. Let's take a look at the back of the card here. Johnny began the 1952 season with those Boston Red Sox, his team since 1942, and after appearing in 25 games for them, he was sent to the Tigers in a big trade. So there's Pesky for you. Always like these infield poses. If it is card number 134, it must be session number 134, guys, of Card Room Live, which is not a show, so don't get excited. It's just a hangout for fellow vintage collectors. Every now and then we have guests, but whether we have guests or not, we're always trying to find time, and we're making time to waste time looking at and talking about vintage cardboard. And through it all, we try to make that time well wasted. If you're here with us live, welcome to you. Welcome to all the folks in the chat, my fellow YouTubers, the folks from all over social media land. If you are new to Card Room Live, introduce yourself. You are amongst friends. Card Room Live is the live stream where everybody knows your name. And if we don't know your name, we'll learn it soon enough. If you happen to be listening to this later, maybe you're going to work, coming home from work, recovering from 4th of July weekend. Maybe you're sorting cards, looking at eBay, rolling out those meatballs, walking the dog, sitting on the john, putting the kids to bed. Maybe you're wondering if Eddie Waitkus will come up. You never know. Wondering what other kind of Mike Foolery we're going to get into tonight. Whatever you might be doing, I hope you get something out of it. If you've got ideas for future sessions or you want to nominate a fellow collector that you'd like to see on Card Room Live, shoot me an email. You can email me at bowman53channel@gmail.com. You can also find me on Instagram, bowman53_Alex, on X 1953 Bowman Color, and on Blue Sky, Bowman53. And of course, all that information can be found in the description below. This session of Card Room Live is brought to you by the Philadelphia Caramel Company. Caramels and penny specialties, guys, including butterscotch and coconut goods, marshmallows, jellies, fig and orange paste, chocolate-covered goods of all kinds. You know, the good stuff that your parents don't want you to have, made by the Philadelphia Confections. The caramel tastes great, and hey, the baseball cards are pretty great too. So happy 4th of July weekend, everybody. Let's take a look and see who is in the bar. Jacob is here. What's up, Jacob? Lou is ready to go, which is important for tonight. Max Jackson is here. I'm going to take a moment and shout out Max. Everybody knows Hobbypalooza is coming up. And there's going to be announcements and schedule announcements and all kinds of good stuff like that coming up. But I'm going to go ahead and mention that Max and I are doing a Hobbypalooza hour. We'll have it at their usual Card Room Live hour, Sunday night, 8 o'clock Eastern time on the 20th, I believe, of July, which is during Hobbypalooza. And Max and I are working on a topic that we're calling Early Baseball on Cardboard, a visual history. We're going to be looking at all kinds of early baseball cards that are not necessarily related to a player or a team. They're just sort of depicting baseball in the early days of the game. And we're doing a lot of research and pulling a lot of photographs, and it's going to be cool. It's going to be a lot of fun. So looking forward to doing that with you, Max. Mike is here. Mike was on our last Card Room Live. Good to see you. Stephen with a PH is here. Peter B., Mr. Baseball Time Traveler is here. Cardboard Coach Neil is here. Larry is here. Reverend Steve's Cards. Double D Vintage Baseball Cards is here. That's a good thing. Southern Collector is here. J Average Vintage Collector is here. Ross Loves Cards. Ruben is here. Mr. Reese ND Card Ranger. Jay Hawker Vintage Cards. Mike is here. Good evening to you. Let's see Sports Cards. Can't make it for the whole thing, but at least he stopped in here. White Sox Fan Card Collector Mitchell is here. Mookie is here. That's right. I am wearing a new hat tonight. Those of you that follow me on Instagram saw me post about this. I got these 3 New York hats. This is the only Yankee hat I've got. but I like it. I also got this Dodger cap and this Giants cap. All three of these just got released by 47. I am not in any way endorsed by 47, but I should be because these hats are cool and I like them. And they go right along with my PC. We've got a lot of great folks in here. I've got two guys waiting to come in here, so we're going to get these guys in here. I totally agree with you, John, but I still like the hat. So we've got two guys in here. I've been chatting with these guys about trying to pull together a Card Room Live session with these two gentlemen, and I'm glad to be able to do it tonight. And we're going to be talking to these guys about their collections, but specifically about how they display their collections. I'm going to bring the first guy in here. This guy has been on Card Room Live a handful of times before. You guys know this guy pretty well. Here he is, Lou Rock TV. Lou, what's up?
What's up, beautiful people? What's up, Alex?
Lou, thanks for being here.
My pleasure, my friend.
Yeah, I want to shout out Lou because every now and then we'll do a Card Room Live where it's just totally random, and I'll leave a link in the chat, and Lou has been somebody to jump in and just hop on and show some cards, and I appreciate that, Lou, because like not everybody's willing to do that, but I always like that you're like game for it. So
yeah, I mean, as you could tell from my channel, my live streams, nothing's really planned, so I like the spontaneous.
Right. Awesome. All right, and now this next guest is somebody that like I don't know how has not been on Card Room Live. I've actually been told by people that they're upset that this guy is not on Card Room Live. Like, why is this guy not on Card Room Live? So this has been a long time coming, all the way from where, the great state of Hawaii. Here he is, Double D Vintage Cards. Dylan, how are you?
Good, Alex. Thanks for having me on. Lou Rock.
What's up, brother? Seems like
Everybody
when we
in
go
the
live
chat?
is always together.
Dude, I was trying to find my Angels hat. I was jamming in the back. Hey, really fast. So, Alex, my internet's been having issues the last few weeks. I pop back on really fast, and I can see when something's going on. So,
Okay.
I'm just like, so sorry.
Okay. No, it's all good. It's all good. And actually, the way that we're set up tonight is like, even if you're not here for a little while, Dylan, we've got so much stuff of yours to look at that like we'll be set. Yeah, absolutely. So I forget how this started. Like maybe like a month ago. I feel like maybe Lou, you were talking about this, or maybe it was Dylan. I can't remember, but somebody was talking about displays and like the thought process behind it. Maybe I don't know if it was like a comment or a video, and something just like clicked. I was like, you know what? I've always wanted to talk about this, and I can't believe we haven't talked about this much on this live stream. So I thought these are two guys that I want to ask about, because I know the two of you guys put a lot of thought into the space that you're in and like the environment that you're in, and it shows in your videos. And I asked these two guys to send a whole bunch of photographs of their space. I'm sure a lot of folks that are here tonight know you two guys and have seen your space and your card rooms on videos, but we're going to kind of approach this as if no one's ever seen it before, just because there might be people that don't know you guys, and or maybe they're not as familiar with your collection. So we're just going to kind of approach it like straight up as if this is brand new stuff, even though for some folks it's like well-worn territory. So let me ask you guys, I've got like a bunch of photographs here, and we can take a look at these photographs, but I want to ask you guys, think back to growing up when you guys started collecting baseball cards. Like what were your rooms like? Like were you guys displaying stuff in your rooms when you were growing up? Like was there like an order? I see you guys nodding your heads. Was there like a way that you did stuff that like you think still kind of carries over to what you're doing now?
Go ahead, Lou.
All right, so I'm an 80s kid.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite things of the year was the Scholastics book fair. And I will go with my $20. I will buy these $5 posters of Marino, Big Hurt, Griffey. And I would just start putting them all up. I never put my cards up because they were all either in binders or in my shoe boxes. But I always had posters of all the athletes I admired. And then as I got older, I started getting Sports Illustrated. I started putting the swimsuit models next to the.
Yeah.
No way.
So me and my brother, because I shared a room with my brother, and my father's like, "What are you doing?" And we're going through our, teenage years, and like, "Sports and chicks, Dad. Sports and chicks." So that school fair was always a big thing for me because that's when I got my new posters. But then I would start getting the Sports Illustrated like at the 7-Eleven because I was always at 7-Eleven for the Slurpees and the baseball cards. But I would get Sports Illustrated and start putting up the swimsuit models in my room. So it was like wallpaper full of posters.
Dude, that's classic. I never put any girls up in my.
Oh, my mom hated it. She's like, "Oh my god."
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Dylan, what about you?
So first off, the reason I haven't been, and I'm not normally in your chats, is I work Saturdays, Sundays.
Right.
Work my wife. So at least 2 to 3, and used to be 4 times every week on Sundays. We work until like 3:30, 4:30. So I'm like, I miss all of them. But we hung out at the National. We went out to lunch, and Jason was with us, and Scott. So we connected there, and that was really stoked. I explained that to you. So I'm honored to be on here, even though I don't get to enjoy the chats all the time. But to your point, I went and grabbed this off my wall. This is my childhood room right here.
Oh my God, look at that.
So I have a lot of this stuff. That bat is on my wall still. I have this thing's filled with baseball cards right here. These 2 bins filled with baseball cards. That's my baseball card binders and my price guides right there. I have 4 price guides lined up in a row, those yellow ones. And then there's more cards stacked below. So this is displayed on my wall. And then this was on my childhood wall.
Oh, awesome.
This is where I get the color blue from my room. I've said this before, but this is blue right here. It's the same color that's on my wall. I just repainted these at some point in my life, but my mom bought me a whole bunch of black and whites when I was a kid, and she framed them in this exact frame, and it was blue, the edges, and I had them all over my childhood room. I never took them down all the way up till I moved out, and then I took them with me and hung them up in every place I've been. So when I was a kid, I had organized shelves. My room was a mess, but they were organized and displayed because my grandma Pat, she was a full-blown hoarder collector. Couldn't even go rooms 8 feet tall of Barbies. I kid you not. Rooms that were completely zoned off because they were stacked all the way up to the ceiling with dolls.
Wow.
I grew up around hoarding and collecting, but it wasn't in my house. It was just in my room. My dad didn't collect, probably because he grew up with his mom being a hoarder.
Right.
Yeah. So always.
It's so awesome, Dylan, that you grew up looking at like Babe Ruth and all those guys, and like that had to have a huge impact on your psyche, right? Like you're just seeing those guys for your whole life. It's amazing.
Absolutely. And also, I grew up in a house, so my mom loves antiques, and the house I grew up in, it was a blast from the past. From the moment you walked in, to the wallpaper on the walls, to the stove was an old school, like burn your house down stove.
Right.
The whole thing, everything was antiques in our entire house. I hated antiques because of that. But I grew up around old stuff.
Right.
So, yep.
Right. And now you're surrounded by old stuff.
Yeah, and I love it. I love it.
Well, tell you what, guys, because I want to start looking at some of these photographs. Lou, let's start with you, and you can tell me if there's like a photograph you want me to jump to or whatever. But I'm just going to open up. Like I've got them all open here so we can look at them.
Do your thing. I'm kind of bummed out because when you come to my house, going up the stairs, I have magazines and old Life magazines and posters and pictures. I didn't take a picture of that. I was just focused on my room.
Oh, okay. So like the lead in, right? Okay.
Yeah, the lead in, warming up to the man cave.
Right. So, like, Lou, what's your let's say I'm trying to think of, like, there's so many questions.
Organized chaos.
Yeah, how long have you been sort of, like, how long have you had this room? Like, maybe that's a question. Like, is there a story behind how you got to, like, section off this room? Like, maybe it's a quick story or a big story. Like, how did you get to say, like, this is my room?
It's like anything else. It's like you tinker, and the analogy is like the bonsai tree, like hip hop professor. You know, you learn as you go, right?
Yeah.
And I've always had some kind of space, even when it was just me and my wife. We were boyfriend, girlfriend, dating. We had a little 2-bedroom apartment. I had my stuff in the walk-in closet. Then it got big enough to go into the hallway. And when we bought our first home, I was just throwing stuff with no rhyme or reason. I just threw stuff. If it was space, I'll nail it up there, put a frame up there. This, as you can see, I have empty spaces because I'm intentional now. I don't put anything up unless there's a purpose. And like you can see where I have the 5 frames on the far wall. I have plans for a 6th one. But you know, I just don't want to throw a frame up there and have it empty.
Yeah.
So this is what I like to call my Hall of Fame wall. The 4 to the right are the top 2 are Hall of Fame rookie cards. And the bottom are Hall of Fame autographs. The one all the way in the corner by itself is just my frame for cool stuff, because I do collect football, not as much as I used to. I have a lot of basketball, a lot of Jordans, a lot of Kobe's. I have like cool stuff like my Billy Ripken in there. Right now is Aaron Judge. That one is rotated a lot. This is one of my frames where I have my Hall of Fame rookies. My 49 Bowmans are at the bottom. Those beautiful cards at the bottom. I do have I paired up my 49 Bowman Dobie with the cut autograph that I have of Dobie.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I see that.
And yeah, it's just a passion. Now, some cards get rotated more than others.
Yeah.
This is a modern. Even though I collect modern, there's still a twist of vintage in there, because I love the Hall of Famers, and this Topps Gilded set, I just fell in love with it. So I have that. I'm not trying to complete the set. If I don't have the Hall of Fame autograph of that player, then if I could find it in that set, I'll pick it up.
Dude, the autos in that set look so good.
Yeah, it's all on card.
They look really good. Yeah,
they're crisp, good autos, nice and legible. Just love it. And this is my favorite set. I'm not a set collector, but I love 2005 Absolute Spectrums. Silver stickers for the win. It's just different. It's not the clear sticker. It looks like it was just made. It was designed perfect. All the autos are super legible. I got Minnie Minoso, Carew, Colton. It's just great. I got the Willie Mays up top.
Yeah.
This is the one I rotate a lot. This is my Aaron Judge. Got a little Shohei at the bottom because I was just feeling the vibes. Right now, they're not so hot. They've won today. Golly, they're killing me. It's getting harder and harder to defend Volpe. but something cool up top. I got the Carlos Beltran. He's a future Hall of Famer, so I threw him up there. But it's got the error, and I got the one with Beltran's picture and the one without.
So Lou, I think Max dropped a question in here that I want to get back to. He asked where did it go? It was something like, what's the best reaction you got from somebody coming in your room that's like not a card collector or not into the hobby?
It's they're like a little overwhelmed. Like they don't know where to look. So I let them just take a minute, walk around. And they usually, typical question, what's the most expensive? I tried to avoid that. I think I've done a video on it where a buddy of mine kind of turned me off. So I'm more I try to educate more. I try to show them a card that means a lot to me as opposed to a card that is expensive.
Right.
But I try to give them a little history lesson. Like I try to show them the 68 Topps posters, the 70 posters, how they were inserted in packs. Underneath the TV right there, that's pretty much my steroid wall. Little steroid section. There's a lot of my junk wax as a kid, some of my favorite cards, but in there you'll see McGuire, you'll see Jose Canseco. Who else is there? Maybe David Ortiz. Now, you can see the Frank Thomas frame at the bottom. I haven't hung it up because I really don't have a place for it.
Yeah.
But above that, that's my YouTube frame. That's all the cards I've gotten over the years. Specialty cards. That's a piece that's real near and dear to me. I love that piece.
Yeah.
And I love that. And I did that, and I enjoyed seeing people do the same thing. I know my boy Jason Fisher-Bite said that I gave him the idea, and he has ripped the idea and done it in his room now. No, but it's great. It's great. I love it.
It's awesome because, if you're just walking in the room, it doesn't necessarily jump out at you. You just think, oh, okay, it's another case, some more baseball cards. But then when you realize, oh no, this represents friendships and bonds and everything else, it's like, wow, like there's so much more to it than just more baseball cards.
Yeah. And like the empty space up there, that's for Mickey Mantle. I'm waiting for a 68 Mantle to pop up. That's a poster I've always wanted, and that's why that place is empty. So
yeah, I wanted to ask you about that because that's really great. So was it Clemente the first one you had, or like how did that start for you?
No, I've had others, but the Clemente, that's a special one because I was looking for one, and Dave Blue Jacket was cleaning out something because he had so much stuff.
Yeah.
And he had a stack of them. And I reached out to Dave. I'm like, hey, buddy, I'm actually looking at a Clemente. And I see that you have one. Can I shoot you an offer? He's like, send me your address. And he just sent it to me the following week, 2 weeks after. So I'm very thankful. So that's a piece that's near and dear because Dave is a buddy to all. He's a legend in the collecting community. And I have a couple pieces from Dave. That's one of them. And then I actually bought something from the famous basement collection. I got a Clemente poster that I have yet to hang because, like I said, I don't put anything. I got to find the right frame. I don't just go to, even though I love the flea market, the frames have to match. They have to be same color. They have to be, I don't want to have the poster floating around. So as you can see, I got a lot of stuff behind that shelf. I got multiple posters and magazines right there on the floor, just waiting because I'll just lay on my couch looking at the wall because I'm very feng shui. I like I like evenness. I don't like unbalanced. I just like everything very symmetrical, lined up, as you can kind of tell on this in this picture. But so yeah, it comes to me sometimes. A night of a little bourbon sipping, I'll get inspiration, and I'll get an idea for one of my displays, and I'll have cards all over the place because I'm taking cards out, I'm putting cards in, and it's something fun. It's something where I can enjoy my cards all the time because I saw a comment the other day. We don't collect, we chase. And it's true because as much as I love my 49s, and I got one that came in today. Where's my boy Mookie? I got a 49 today, and I'm already as happy as I was. I'm dancing. I'm showing my wife. I got eBay alerts popping up, sending me offers. I'm like, oh, I gotta take a time out. So this is a nice way where I was watching the Yankee game today. I was immersed in my collection. I had a little beverage as I was watching it, and it's just one of those things. And I think Dylan can relate where sometimes I'll just lay in here and just stare at the wall.
Right.
Just stare at it and get inspiration for a video or something that buddy sent me, because I've been doing YouTube for 6 years, and in every display I either have a gift or a card that reminds me of somebody. Yeah, it's YouTube's been great. It's been great. I can't believe I've been doing it for 6 years already. That's my pride and joy. That's what started, dipped my toe into vintage. I got my 73 Clemente when I was in 6th grade. And that's what ventured me into vintage. Of course, chasing Clemente base run. But that's my Clemente.
The wall that I think of when I think of you, Lou. Like, even though I know everything else going on in the room, but like this is what I just like made my your first impression on your collection was this wall.
Yeah, it's a personal thing. I'm kind of bummed out that I gave it one of the smaller walls in my room, but I have just wrapped it around. I got, the 72 Tops poster insert. That middle, a lot of people think that's a picture of that black and gray, but that's actually a album. It's his last interview. In perfect condition. It's one of those things I bought in college because I'd never seen it before, and I'm glad I did, because it's a pretty tough piece to find in mint condition. That Clemente all the way to the right is that was someone I found, a local artist, when I was in college, and he drew that for me for $10 in college. You can't beat it, man. And just things here and there that just accumulate over time. And I got toys, bobbleheads, coins, and it's like your life's work. That's why I love displaying it. It's great. I thought about getting a storage room or a safety deposit box, but I'm good with the safe here. I got a safe. And a lot of the stuff that's in excess is in my walk-in closet in my bedroom, the guest closet, and some in the garage. But I could go get it if I need it. So
right.
Yeah, it's just, I find it hard. I know a lot of people have storage lockers, but it's just tough for me I gotta have my collection near me.
Yeah, I hear that. You got to see it. Here's a question from Mookie. How long did it take you to build this room out, and when did you start?
Well, it's still being built out. Rome wasn't built in a day. Every day I'm adding to it. I just bought some more frames for some posters that I have my eye on. I got a whole bunch of 67s on this wall. I don't think I sent you a picture of that because it's kind of incomplete, but I got a lot of 67s. But I built my house almost 6 years ago, and I was trying to take one of the bedrooms downstairs. And my wife saw how much stuff I had. She's like, just take the upstairs. The kids don't need a playroom. They got their own rooms. They don't need a room to store their stuff.
Yeah.
Use that room for your stuff. And I was like, you sure? She's like, yep. Before I changed my mind. I'm like, okay. And I was dragging the stuff up here, and it was just great because I had the bigger frames. Those are Penzoli, I think is how you pronounce it. I got those as I was building the house because I had this vision of putting these great frames, handmade frames up. And as soon as we moved in, the frames came in, and I had them installed, leveled out. And so 6 years ago, and it's still growing. I still got plenty of space to grow. And like I said, I have a hallway coming into my room, and I got stuff in the hall, and there's space out there as well. So I don't know how to answer that question. It's still being built, but I started 6 years ago.
Never done. Yeah. Well, hey, let's switch over to Dylan a little bit. So Dylan, let me get these pictures up here. How about you, Dylan? What's the story about your start with your room? I know you've told this story a bunch of times, but for anybody that doesn't know, how did this get started for you?
Yeah, first off, Lou Rock, laying on the ground coming into the room and looking and getting inspired. That's how it all starts. And
Yeah.
that's why me and my wife, so we bought this place 8 or 9 years ago. And we both had our childhood. We both kept our childhood toys forever. Our parents kept them, and we always wanted to display them. And this is a shared room with my wife. She has her office space. I have mine, but we're in the same room. And first got here, I built a shelf that went around the whole room displaying our toys. We took some toys out we wanted to display, and then slowly, like Blue Rock, I've built it as I've gone. And every single display you're seeing here was custom built by me. Every single, not a single other human was in this room working on this but me. And every one of those displays represents a portion of our year, like a year in our life. Like even my wife's stuff you're seeing right now, those dolls, is like, I built it in order. So went from like 1980 all the way through, and each little space is a cubby for toys from that little era of all.
That's great. Yeah.
So every single shelf, every single thing you see on the wall has a meaning and was ours as a kid. And the cards, I've displayed cards my whole life, everywhere in closets. And I just wanted to, my dream was always to have an entire wall, an entire room with baseball cards on the walls, 360. Because when I was a kid, I saw a shop on Beach Boulevard that had wall display. And it just looked spectacular to me. So that's what I'm replicating here. And that's what I've done. So yeah, I guess we could look at some of those. For me, it's all about the feeling of being surrounded by stuff that you truly love. And I love stuff. I'm not a minimalist. I don't want to be a minimalist. My wife is not a minimalist. We like our things, but they don't need to be expensive things. We just want to sit in our room and get inspired. So when I look at this wall we're looking at, I got my 75 tops, just some displayed there. I had some Hank Aaron's. I never, before YouTube, I didn't have a rhyme or reason, except I would always have 1952 tops all the way to present day displayed in order on one of the shelves. But now since YouTube, my brain just flipped, because before I just buy any card I loved. I just loved it. Iconic Topps card, I bought it. I never took them out and put them side by side with each other and played with them the way I do now. And so all the displays you see now are inspired by everybody out there, like Terry TJ Maxx, Shoebox Legends, everybody who shares cards that go together. That's my jam now.
Yeah.
So my room's filled with that. So yeah, same, this display, just that's like my main, these are like my favorite collections I'm working on at the moment. So that was that wall.
Mm-hmm.
Try click to another one. Let's see what else we got here. I know what I sent you. Okay, so this is my.
You're not the host here. Don't tell me what to do.
Yeah, I do it. I freaking take over. I hope I'm not cutting out too much. I mean,
no, you're good.
Okay. This is my YouTube wall. So Lou Rock, I copied you too, and everybody else. I got cards from a bunch of friends up there. I think Reindeer's right there. I can see him. I got my vintage wax, my movie cards, which I grew up on, and then all those packs, those Wally Joyner packs, those rack packs, those were all gifts from fellow YouTubers. Doug, Pepino Man, quite a few others. And they have Wally Joyner on the front because I bought one at a store, I shared on YouTube. I was like, it blew my mind. Everybody was sending me those, and I just freaking so sick. And then I got my shark display, and then see that Nolan Ryan ball?
Yeah.
Okay, so that ball is signed by Nolan Ryan. I've had that displayed in the sun in my room since I received that. I was probably 11 or 12. Because that card has been in there ever since. It's the most faded thing you've ever seen in your life. But the auto looks perfect. It's incredible. So the auto didn't fade, sitting in the sun all those years.
That's a great case.
And that other card, got nuked. The card in it is like there's no color left in that upper deck. Now it's behind UV glass, museum grade glass, and then I have all my windows tinted, and I
nice.
have shades that come over the top outside that I crank up and down. And then also I have blackout blinds. And the only display, so click over to the next one.
Yeah.
Sir, kind sir, please. Another one. Okay, there we go. So this one, yeah, that's like the top's got my baseball card book report, or the report I did, my hobby report. And this is the only display of the cards that stay out in the light. All the other cards, these all fold back and have covers. The one behind me rolls all the way behind a wall, so there's no light at all. But this one you're looking at is all just my childhood dream cards, you know, the ones we had as kids.
Yeah.
Right.
The Junk Wax era cards. That's my album. That Ted Creamy Root Beer sign was in my room as a kid. That's 2 of my Little League bats, my MVP trophies on the top, my actual glove. Yeah.
And bro, you're probably thinking like me, like we have so much, and we grew up on so much of that junk wax, but it's so aesthetically pleasing seeing the sealed wax packs of our youth.
Oh yeah,
Like, I have those displayed
Absolutely.
as well. I saw that. I'm like, why am I opening these? And I, you know, Brandon's baseball cards, you know, the great unsealed collector. I've asked him, I've seen how he preserves it and keeps it nice and minty. And I started doing that, and I've done the same thing like you, man. I have them all on my shelf, nice from the year I was born, all the way up. Yeah,
that's
man.
what I got too. 1980. Obviously, I quit it. It's like 82 or actually that's like 93 tops, and then
I had to go to 93 because 93
Yeah.
is Derek Jeter's rookie.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, that's sick. I open most of my wax though, but that you know I keep just a bit. All right, let's go to the next one, Alex. So what else did I send you? I don't even know. Same wall. So that's like 1980 tops all the way till I don't know, 92 or something, all in order. Goes tops, Donruss, Fleer, 1 card of each. And if you look down, it's completely in order. This has been my wall where I've always had it in order. Always been organized. And this is one of the first displays I built as well. So yeah. All right, next one. Same, just the bottom, same awesomeness. I love it. And then this is like my desk, part of my desk, and those boxes I've been building. This is where I do shipping and organize. Got my Jackie collection in there. Just fun stuff, you know. This how we roll. So that to answer the whole reason why I collect and why we all collect is to look at the stuff.
Yeah.
And I can't put it away. I can put some of it away. I have binders filled with cards. I can display 500 graded cards at any given time. I have over 1,000, so I can rotate them like Lou Rock. I rotate them like once every 6 months or so. And I need to see my collection. I don't want them in a bank vault. I want them in hand.
Yeah.
They're insured. I'm not worried about it. Everything's insured.
Yeah.
You know, I'll lose memories, but I want the memory to have in my hand. So,
and bro, looking at your displays, it's kind of like mine. Because again, after I had that little terrible incident with my friend about how, you know, spending the money and
right.
When people come up here, I almost educate. And I've actually told them this is like a history of cardboard. I'm a post-war guy. One day I'll dip my toe into pre-war, especially when I'm getting some Joey D's. But it's almost like walking through history of card collecting. You know, I got the 48s all the way up to now because, you know, I collect Judge. Right. But, you know, I love talking about even the 80s, man. And when I was looking at your display cases, it was that you're like, these are the guys that I looked up to. It was Sammy Sosa, Frank Thomas. Yeah. It's all the people we looked at, you know. They don't have to. And that's the thing. It doesn't have to be a $300 card, $1,000 card. Yeah, those are cool. But This is one of my, it's always near me. It's in the display on my desk all the time.
Yes.
That was,
it.
this is the best card ever. I'm like just a kid in a candy store every time I see it. And my brother comes over, he laughs every time. And people who don't know cards, I show them that. I'm like, what's wrong with this card? And when they find it, they just think it's hilarious. They're like, they actually put this on a card. I'm like, well, not on
Dang,
purpose. It's not on purpose that they did it, but that's why everyone wanted this card. But yeah, it's just, I love it, man. The history of cardboard.
Absolutely. And I show the history just like you. Ruben had a good question. And I'm sure, Lou, you answered this kind of. I mean, you did answer this. What do non-collectors think of the room when they see it? When they come in here, it changes their entire outlook as me as a human.
Right.
And what's funny is you would think it might be like, this guy's out of his mind crazy. My wife's crazy. They think we're nuts. Because my wife has a whole art wall I built her with all her stuff that she's done for companies over the years. So her room is not even shared here. You don't even see it. An upstairs loft filled with her product. This room wraps around. You guys haven't even seen half of it. And the other half's all hers. They come out with a whole new respect.
Right.
A whole new appreciation for things. And I've had people leave my house and they text me. People that I didn't know that well, and then they'll be like, dude, you inspired me, and they'll put something on their desk, a toy, something. And they just they love it. And just like Lou, I have so much more than cards in here that for most people that come in, they're like my era, my age, or my wife's age. They go straight to the toys. And they're like, I had that, I had this. And then if they had cards, then they're diving in. And I absolutely share my favorite cards on my wall. And I always share Sam Rice, Sadahara O, and then I'll sprinkle in a few other guys that have stories. And then obviously I'll show them a Mickey Mantle, Joe DiMaggio, Babe Ruth, just because that they want to see that stuff. And I love sharing it. So, yeah, good question.
Yeah, I'll tell like a real quick story. This was like right when Willie Mays died. That day, we happened to have some friends over that were visiting, and they have two young kids, and we were in the middle of whatever, and I look on my phone, I'm like, oh my God, Willie Mays just died, and like I'm looking at it and I'm texting with people or whatever, and one of the kids noticed, is like, what's wrong? I was like, Willie Mays just died, and very sincerely, the kid was like, who's Willie Mays? This kid's like, let's say 8-9 years old. And I was like, oh my gosh. So, and this was just like spontaneous. I'm like showing them my autographed Willie Mays baseball, and I'm showing them cards, and I'm telling them like who Willie Mays is. And I have a shot in my room of the catch, right? And I'm talking about the catch. And then we're like jumping on YouTube, and like, okay, now the kid's like, okay, I know YouTube, and we're looking at the videos, we're watching Willie Mays. And like after just like 10 minutes of that, the kid goes up to their parents, is like, Mom, Willie Mays just died. And I was like, oh my God, like the kid, it's you don't really think about it, but the room at first for the kid was just like, okay, baseball cards, whatever. But then it was this whole experience that they had about history and baseball, and it meant so much more to them than it did when they walked in at the beginning. And like wasn't really expecting that, right? But it's amazing how other people can connect with the stuff that we're collecting.
Yeah, let me tell you a story with that too, Alex. Exactly like yours. When any kids come over, and pretty much any kid who's come over has been our close friends right. I've had forever, or those kids, and I always make a package for them. And whatever they show interest in, I'll tell them stories about players and stuff. I'll send them home with packs. I have a whole bunch of packs unopened. I always have a stack. But I have one friend in particular, his son came over, and his name's Nolan, and he was named after Nolan Ryan, but he doesn't play baseball or nothing. Well, he sent me a photo today of all his cards on his desk that I gave me as a whole setup, a display of all these vintage cards and one touches. So these kids, they'll see this room, they'll see your room, and like you, Alex, those kids will never forget that. I mean, maybe not all of them, but I never forget. I never forgot a few places that I went to as a kid and saw magical rooms like this.
Right.
Really special spots. You're like, it sticks with you forever. So,
Right. Right.
yeah. One more reason to display things. You know, when people come over, it gives you, they can learn a little about you.
Right.
Oh yeah, yeah. They learn about you. My wife tries to prepare some of her friends because she's like, "Oh, he collects," because they're always like, "Oh, my husband collects," or they have old cars, and she's like, "Oh yeah, my husband collects." And then they come, and I had one was like, "Oh, you don't collect, you live it." I thought that was the biggest. I was like, "Yeah, that was a great compliment. That was a great."
Okay,
compliment.
so this guy Lance Thomas, he's an ex-professional basketball player. He's a friend of mine. He's my closest neighbor, and we've hung out with him many times. Finally, he had him in my room for a long period of time. We hung out here for like 2 hours, like a month ago. A whole new respect for he's like, because he has friends that are into Pokemon now, and they're just buying and selling. He goes, you're a collector. You're like in it like guru style, and it changed everything because he's a professional athlete, so he's like really likes focus. And so when he saw this, he looked at me like I was a professional athlete. Appreciated the heck out of it.
It's a dedication.
Yeah,
it's dedication,
exactly.
bro.
Yeah, it's hilarious because my wife tries to prepare people too. Like, you're going into a wonderland. Just be prepared. You might look at us differently after this.
Might not be your wonderland, but it's my wonderland.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure. So good.
Do you guys have any thoughts you want to share for somebody who's thinking about doing this? Maybe not on the scale that you guys are doing it, but because everybody's got different situations, right? Like, how much space do they have? How much wall space? How big is the room? Whatever it might be. Do you guys have any advice from the experience that you have doing what you've done in your room that you can share with somebody that's maybe doing this for the first time?
Dude, just go out and get a freaking display and put it in your closet. Put it in your bathroom. Put it anywhere. It will change everything you think about your collection. It changes everything.
Yeah.
Lou?
Well, I was going to say, first get the green light from the missus.
No, just
get the green light. But I'm very tactical. Like, in my room, these are still treasures to me. So you gotta be smart. You don't want to just throw it up. Have a plan, because I don't want direct sunlight.
No sun.
Right.
You don't just throw it on the first available wall, because it might not be the best place to put your stuff. But yeah, even if it's a small space, it's your space. And if it's a small space, if you have a small collection, great. But if you have a decent sized collection, but you don't have a small space, leave yourself the ability to rotate. Make it something where it's easy to take stuff in and out. Don't, make it difficult where if you put something up, it's going to be difficult to take down, replace it, because then you'll never rotate it. It's just going to be a poster in a frame. Like most of my frames they open up and they're real easy. If you have, I know a lot of people use the shelves with the little stands. Those are cool, but just know when you put a lot together and you knock one card, it could be a domino effect. So, get the green light for the missus. Find a spot, be smart about it, and just think about, the future, about how you're going to rotate, make it easy for yourself, because it's still a hobby. It's still supposed to be a stress reliever. You don't want to get frustrated when you're dropping cards and stuff is getting knocked down or is getting dusty and it's a pain in the butt to move. So,
dude, and the sunlight thing, it's not even direct sunlight. I'm talking the sun. Your stuff will be damaged in indirect sunlight as well. 100%.
Yeah.
LED lights only around your cards as well. LED lights supposedly do not damage your cards. But any light, any natural light coming in your house even indirectly, I did a lot of experiments with different glasses, cards before, after. Indirect sunlight still damages your cards.
Yeah.
So that's why I just say, if you don't have a display, don't worry about all these factors. Just put it in your closet behind your clothes.
Yeah.
Just so you can go in there and take a peek at it. It'll change everything. Everyone has these cards in boxes and stuff, and it just, I mean, I know a lot of guys have displays, but I can't urge you enough. You don't need your wife's permission to put a display up in your own little closet space.
You could go to Lowe's, Home Depot. You could get the tent. I got poster board on my windows.
Yeah.
And
if you're not in the room,
sunlight's the enemy.
yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. I want to throw this comment up from Drew, throwing Dylan some love. I want to throw Drew some love. So Drew heard about this topic tonight, and he sent me some pictures of something that he's working on, and I want to share this with everybody as a little heads up. So I'm sure everybody knows.
It looks great.
Drew, Vintage Legacy. He is working on a new project that he's hoping to make available to other YouTubers. So here, like, this is a shot from Drew's workshop where he's kind of figuring this out. And you can see he's sort of building a little shelving unit here with, 4 rows here of different cards. And here's what it looks like with a bunch of cards displayed in there. I think it's like 32 cards fit in there.
Nice open.
Don't get much easier than that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In and out. He sent those to me earlier. I was like, how much does it cost in black?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So Drew, I don't know if you're ready, Drew, but maybe you should put your email in the chat, and anybody that wants to hit you up with some ideas, get in touch with Drew about that. But yeah, like, there's a whole bunch of people in the community, including Dylan, that are making this thing themselves and making it work for their space too.
Cards included. I'll take that one.
Yeah.
Like Mookie said.
Dude, that's sick right there, Drew. That's awesome.
It's like very European open shelves.
Right.
And that mix of cards is pretty sick too.
Yeah, that Monty.
Sure.
A couple 53s. Eddie.
A little slice of Drew's collecting. Guys, any last thoughts before we wrap up?
I love baseball cards.
Man. Go get a freaking display and put it somewhere. If you've never done it, it doesn't cost a lot. Just do it, and not just one card. You need a display with 10 cards, okay? Just do it.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you've never done it, start small. You don't have to go get 40 displays. Get a frame. Amazon. Yeah, or a bookshelf that you could get at the dang Goodwill. Nice little bookshelf in the corner. You could put a couple cards, and then you'll see. It's like anything else. Ideas will start coming and steamrolling. Just like, when you start a side PC, or when you start doing a YouTube video, you're like, oh man, I wish I did this, or I wish I did that. But when you have a room or start displaying, you can still do it, because the ideas just keep on coming to keep flowing.
Yep.
So it's always evolving.
Right. And I would say too,
let me announce it. Sorry, Alex. Let me announce it here. I'm doing a new series. I always start these new series. I never finish them. Probably won't finish this one, but I'm gonna do my new videos just like Lou was saying. You get inspired by looking at your own walls. I came up with it like a week ago, and I'm gonna film. Each video is gonna be one row on my wall. Every single display in my entire room will have one video. And anytime I want to do a video, I can just pull a whole row down and share it and talk about it. I'm really excited to do that. And then it gives me an excuse to switch them out later. So coming soon to a theater near you.
We're going to hold you to it, Dylan. This is a series that you're going to finish, because you can wrap your head around it, right? Like, you've got one room. You can do it.
I can do it.
Row your room. Oh my God. Mookie. Yeah, I was just going to say, like, when you have a display, you start to, and I know I sound like a broken record, but we all say it, but I feel like you start to appreciate what you have, and like you're not just in the hunt, you're also just in the appreciation of the cards too, like more than you are if you're just putting them in a box. No offense to the box.
No, but you're so right about that. It's just like I said, I always say this is my life's work, and I just look at it like, I can't believe I have that card. I can't believe I have that in my collection. You know, as a kid, you see these in the Beckett's, and it's tough stuff for me because I collected a little bit of everything. I'm like, I can't believe I have that. So it's just like reaching the Mount Everest, reaching the summit. It's like, I can't believe I have this card, you know?
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Lou, Dylan, thank you so much for jumping in. It was a great time looking at your stuff and, getting some advice and, feeling out like display ideas. Everybody else, make sure you jump into For Collectors at 9:00, and we'll be back next Sunday night at 8. Have a great week, everybody. Take care.
Peace out, go Yankees.
Woo!